Do you wonder about reincarnation? What does this one word mean to you? Is it something you believe to exist? So what perspective do you hold on reincarnation? What do you believe this one word suggests? Reincarnation simply means that you have had multiple times in which to understand this world and how it operates. You have a soul purpose that some know as their divine purpose, or as we term it, your original purpose. This purposeful objective was to be enacted within the first time or two of incarnating here. But when that did not occur, your soul set up subsequent lifetimes. All were meant to facilitate an understanding and the means for a purposeful discovery to occur. The agreement or contract, did I mention the agreement some know as the contract your soul entered into? It's what keeps you bound here. It's why you cannot decide one day that you do not wish to return. It is not a choice to be made now. That choice was made prior to the embodiments that resulted from there. Now, you are meant to enact that thing that you, vis-a-vis your soul, want to know. And what is wanted is the energy equivalent of what this or that thing is. It is an understanding. It is wanting to know this thing and the energy you are to create in the doing of the thing. Immersion. The problem, it would seem, is that many, if not most here, entered into the rounds of rebirth, asking for an immersion experience. Immersion was to allow for a more pure experience to be had. Thus, it would enable more to be known, but not through the lens that the soul had known prior to its time here. And so, I'll suggest that the soul no longer remembers much of their lineage or past. For those reading these words, if you have developed a means to communicate with your soul, ask them who they were before journeying here. Ask your soul what came before this world, known as the earth experience. Amnesia. I'll further suggest that it is not that they did not exist before this time, but, more specifically, that they do not recall their earlier existence because a slow amnesia entered in. That amnesia entered, due to the immersion experience requested, and now their lineage, their past, is no longer remembered. You, as your soul's feet on the ground, are the means for more to be. Advanced energetics is the vehicle established to help bring about a most necessary means of recall. The elders, my soul, and I, all seek to remind you and your soul about the purposeful objective. Might you seek to recall it once again? Seek to enact steps so that a most necessary remembering can occur. Heritage and lineage. Have you wondered about your heritage or lineage? I read about those who wanted to know what they could glean from looking back at their own physical history. What historical perspective exists for them to discover within their family tree? What insights might be found there? Does a spiritual benefit or really any advantage exist there? Beyond garnering and recognizing certain physical traits or characteristics, there isn't a big net gain to be had. Yet, your individual past life heritage and its lineage based on earlier lifetimes lived are a more telling tale. It is truly a more interesting story because it is your story. In our next book, Given in Love, the elders shared some short stories. These short stories are some of the past lives in my history. Together, they brought me here to this current life. These stories had some common occurrences in that they repeatedly brought the same negative energy into play. This energy limited each subsequent lifetime in a significant way. Past choices influenced more than simply the lifetime led where the bad deed was done. You see, if the negative occurrence was significant enough, it became tethered to the soul. Thus, each subsequent embodiment became bridled with the energy equivalent produced in that former time. The good news is there are ways to remove what became layered upon and tethered to you. Yet, the first step is its recognition. When you recognize that something is off, don't push past and through it. Doing so does not allow for the resolution you seek. Nor does it allow for the restoration of the wholeness which is always sought. Yes, recognition is key. Ask the elders. I don't have all the answers, but the elders do. I haven't asked all that I might or could. Yet, you have the means to ask what you would like to know. Ask here about reincarnation, especially if you are still not sure it exists. What do you want to know? I love reading questions I have never contemplated. So please ask. Then, move to enlist more this day in an unstoppable way.